Also, sometime back you mentioned moving from brand to agency, right? And
Mm.
again, you work with massive brands, Tata Advanced Systems and Jio Savan of the Reliance Group. So,
Mhm.
how do you see the shift from brand to an agency?
Yeah. So, when you're working with a brand, people think that you're the king or the queen. But that's not really always the case. I think more of it, the lifestyle is very much similar. At the end of the day, you're trying to solve a marketing problem, whether you're
Mm,
dealing it from a brand side or even from an agency side. I think it
mm,
just shifts in terms of the kind of ecosystem you're part of, right? So, as a brand, you might be in a position to have a little bit more liberties to do what you want
mm,
to for your brand, but at the same
mm,
time you might be restricted as well, right? And again, similarly, in terms of resources, you might people usually perceive that if you're working with a very big brand, you have a plethora of resources available to you, whether it's in terms of skills or budgets and stuff like that. But that might not be the case always. So
mm,
even internally as a brand, sometimes you have to set up your function in a way that you have to deal with what you have and still achieve the results, right? But the only larger difference which I see is that you are very focused on one area. That this is
mm,
all, like you mentioned, Tata Advanced Systems. So cybersecurity was my only life, right? That was my whole
mm,
industry. All I have to
mm,
study, interact, meet, or deliver, do whatever was cycled around that. But when you're working in an agency, you have to kind of broaden that. Maybe today I'm talking to a cybersecurity company. Tomorrow I might be talking to somebody in FMCG. So I think at the base level, the problems and the way you operate remains very similar. You might have to
mm,
again compromise with the resources and managing those expectations, but your
mm,
horizon has to be very very wide. You can't limit yourself to one business side, which is the
mm,
flip side. It's more challenging as well, but I think that's what is fun, right? so
mm,
so that's more fun, but as a marketer, totally I would say it's there's no mm, right or wrong way to say that you should be with a brand or with an agency.
mm,
It's purely what
mm.
you enjoy. I've thoroughly
Correct.
enjoyed when I've done work with the brands, even in operations or services. So it's purely about that, whatever you're doing in your current role, whether in agency or a brand, it just excites you as much and you are able to do justice to your capabilities. But equally they both will give you opportunities.
Yes. I think it's about, as you said, it's about executing a role which allows you to fully leverage on your abilities and lets you fully creative, the way you want to be.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like in a brand, you might be really closely working with sales, which an agency might not give you an opportunity to, right? But then it all
Mm,
depends. Somebody might look that as an opportunity, and somebody might look that as a challenge. That, oh, I have to now work accordingly or as per the sales function as well. But I always
mm,
saw it as an opportunity because I had the first-hand voice of the market through my sales team as to what's really happening on the ground, right? So I think it's a very personal choice, but both the
mm.
both the sides of the world are very exciting.